Hello, I'm Mariana Danilowicz with Ultra Live TV, and we're here with Loren Cole of Cole Media. How you doing, Loren?
I'm doing well.
We're at the Digital Hollywood Summit Spring in Santa Monica, California, and Loren's been in the traditional media, television business, and digital media business for quite some time. So what's really great that's happening right now?
Well, I'm getting a lot of calls lately. I do a lot of work working on business strategy for companies, and the biggest question at the moment is obviously, can I monetize it? So we're spending a lot of time looking at, can you do high quality content? Can you, and then at the same time, how do you monetize it? How do you get people to your site? How do you get the community really involved? And all of the issues involved with, can you get content out and can you make money on it? So those are the sorts of issues that I'm focusing on at the moment. Working on a range of things, from travel to animation to traditional TV.
So you've launched many pay television networks and cable television networks globally in the 90s for large companies like Sony Pictures Entertainment and others. What do you think is the trend online with launching of television networks? When is that going to actually materialize?
Well, I think online is really a different medium, just like radio is different from television and movies are different. And I think what you're seeing is you're still seeing people trying to figure it out. What's really working online is the interactivity and getting your community involved. And the challenge you've got with a lot of traditional TV is that it's much more passive, sit back and watch. And I think what we haven't seen yet is a really good example where someone's been able to take a television show and really get the audience involved. The best examples that we see are things like American Idol, but what you're still not seeing yet is a really good way to get a scripted show where someone has weekly characters and where people are very involved in those characters and figure out how do we translate that online and create a community around it. And I think that as people start to figure that out, I think that's where you're going to see some interesting creative things happening.
So we call that contextual entertainment and ultra live TV because we think that there's going to be more engagement with the linear programming. And you believe that scripted and reality will go in this direction? What about some other like live programs like sports and music and so on?
Well, live is sports are a natural because of course people are already very passionate about their programs and have a lot of have a fan base around the teams. So that's a natural. It's also something that brings people together at the same time. The challenge you get on a lot of scripted shows is back in the old days you had what were called the water cooler shows where people had to go and watch right away and talk about it. And those are the ones that you haven't really seen other than there are shows that people want to see, like Lost is a good example where people want to see that night show and they want to go talk about it. But you're just, I think, seeing the tip of the iceberg where people are really logging into podcasts and things. And I think what you haven't really seen is a good way to really get those fans together and create their own content around the show. I think that's where we're still in the early days.
And your version of cross-platform entertainment programming, as Joe Roth just said in the Variety Summit, what platform does it start from? What are you seeing in the market? What are the leading platforms, and how is this developing?
I think still the best way to market something is still on television. It's still the best way to get a large audience at the same time. I don't think what we've seen yet is a really good way to get there. I think people are trying online, but it's just really hard to get a lot of people to tune in. And they just people don't have the dollars yet that a television network has, where a television network can put up billboards, they can do radio ads, they can cross-promote against other shows. So I don't think you're going to see traditional television go away, but I think what people still really need to tap into are some of the things that you're working at on Ultra Live TV, where people can really engage with other interested fans at the same time. And I think that's the trend that the big companies haven't really gotten to yet.
So driving the audience to television.
Yeah, driving the audience while they're watching television to do other things, either at the same time as they're watching or after the fact. If I'm a passionate Lost fan, I may go and try to find some things online, but I don't necessarily know how do I connect with people. And I think that's really that's some of what Joe Roth was talking about, the social marketing. How can I really find people with common interests and get them together at the same time, or get things that exist that I can do it asynchronously online.
And what do you think, in your opinion, that would drive the viewing of current programming, or would it also drive possible monetization?
I think both. I mean, it's certainly the more engaged you are in a program and the more people that you can talk about that program with who are avid fans, the more likely you are to tune in and be really invested emotionally in that show. And anytime somebody's really invested emotionally in a show and is passionate about it, that's when the advertisers are interested, when you can really get to that audience and know who that audience is that really likes a particular show.
So from Loren Cole's of Cole Media's mouth to the gods of advertising ears, thank you, Loren.
Thank you, Mariana.